right, Chef, episode 15.
I know.
One of my favorite things is a secret ingredient this week.
Right.
And we're getting a lot of comments online. You know, we post the secret ingredient on Cooking with Earth Fare and Springer Mountain Farms Facebook page before.
Right.
And we have some funny viewers. So Mary Jane says, I'd venture to say we're working with Avocados on the show today.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be. Because look, this is what the picture looks like, in case you need to see it.
Right.
Okay. And you didn't see it yet. And then, so thank you, Mary Jane, for weighing in on this one. Christine says, this is a tough one. Could it be an avocado?
I think we're gonna have to get a little bit craftier with our
I kind of like it. I kind of like it that it's like, you know, it's pretty easy to tell. But what are we making today? What is the dish we're making?
We're gonna make a chicken burrito bowl, which is like something I like to make a lot at the house, like for either quick lunch or something that I can pack around with me and take on the go. Like if I'm doing an event or catering, I like to make these and take them with me, and that way it's easy, quick, and easy.
Chicken burrito bowl.
Yeah,
now,
but we're going to talk about some other stuff today.
Okay.
Like
all right.
Health benefits of avocados and how to make your own spice blends and doing stuff like that. So just kind of trying to get everybody to start creating and cooking more on their own.
All right. Okay. Do we have a picture of the chicken burrito bowl we can put up? Because it's so
we
pretty.
Definitely do.
It's so pretty, and I want to show the audience that that is what we're going to make in just a short, less than 30 seconds. We'll see you right back here in just a minute. I'm Cara Kneer, journalist, wife, host, and a mother of two. I'm joined by Chef Brian Carson, who has over 15 years of culinary experience. Together, we're going to take the mystery out of everyday ingredients you can find at Earth Fare. This and more on today's Cooking with Earth Fare. Welcome to Cooking with Earth Fare, brought to you by Springer Mountain Farms. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited about this episode. It's episode 15, season 2, and our secret ingredient today is one of my favorite. We're making a delicious dish that you could have for dinner or lunch, or like Chef just said, you could pack it with you on the go. So we're trying to cover a lot of bases today, but we want you to be just as much of the show as Chef and I are. The show is for you. So please ask us some questions. We've been getting great viewer feedback. We love hearing from you. Go to slido.com, and there you'll just have to enter your email address, use the hashtag CookingWithEF, and then you can ask us a question. And most importantly, you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card to Earth Fare. How cool is that? Because we are at an Earth Fare in Cumming, Georgia. So this isn't a green screen. This is an actual store we're in, so you will see people milling about. We have a live studio audience. We encourage people to come hang out with us every Monday at 4 o'clock. We have a mic set up so you can ask a question if you happen to be in the store. You know, if you ask a question while you're in the store, see, real grocery store, we actually give away the ingredients that we'll be using today for our dish. So you win if you watch online, you win if you watch in the store. We'd love to see you though in person. But if you are online today, go to Facebook. You can go to Cooking with Earth Fare's Facebook page. You can go to Springer Mountain Farms Facebook page. You can go to Earth Fare's Facebook page. There are lots of ways for you to check out this very show. We can't wait to see you. You can also go to Springer Mountain Farms Roku channel. And we hope that you watch us, and we hope that you learn a little something, because that's what this show is all about. And the man that's going to teach us something, more than likely it'll be him and not me, is the one, the only Chef Brian Carson. Hi, Chef.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so we teased it earlier. I think we said it, but let's tell people what the secret ingredient is. And it is
a Haas avocado.
A Haas avocado.
For those of you at home that said avocado, you were correct.
You were right.
Yep. So
we had
real
many
quick
accurate
before
guesses.
we get started, I see that we got some folks lingering around the edges. If you guys want to come and sit in these chairs, if you want to come up and ask a question during the show, you actually could win some of the ingredients that we're using today to cook the recipe. So if you guys want to come sit down, we'll have a little tasty bite later too. So
true. It's a good time. You won't regret it.
No. Yeah, now that we got that out of the way.
Yes. What are we making today? And tell me how difficult it is.
So this is a super easy recipe because I wanted to spend some time sharing some knowledge about some other fun techniques and things that we can do at home to make healthy, nutritious food on the go. Okay,
because I do think there's a lot of mystery that surrounds an avocado. People are like, how do we know when it's ripe? How do we know when it's this and that? We're already getting questions, so I'll let you start and I'll start reading these.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a chicken burrito bowl today. So very simple, But it's a very simple recipe, but it allows you a lot of room to kind of build it, make it what you want. You can sub the proteins out. You can do a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into it, all right?
Let's do it.
So I'm going to turn this on. So first thing we're going to talk about is scallions. So scallion or green onion, however you want to call it, is one of my favorite things to use. But most people use the top half. They use the top green part.
Okay.
So today we're actually going to use both. So we're going to cut this off right where the white starts to fade.
Okay.
We're going to reserve this for garnish at the end. We're going to cut the little root ends off here and just trim them up and make them nice. And we're actually going to use this part because this part has a ton of onion flavor, whereas the top is a little bit more mild and a little bit, you know, more like chive, so to speak, where this is going to have a little bit more of the astringency of like a yellow onion would.
Okay.
So real easy. We're just going to slice these straight across. And today we are going to be using a Springer Mountain Farms ground chicken. So
Nice.
a couple of things that I wanted to mention is that we know that boneless, skinless chicken breast is pretty much the most healthy protein you can eat. So in a 3-ounce boneless, skinless chicken breast, you have roughly just under 20 grams of protein.
Okay.
And you have just over 100 calories. So for 100 calories, you can get 20 grams of protein out of a 3-ounce boneless, skinless chicken breast.
All right.
So we've got that on. We're going to add just a little bit of olive oil.
Okay, we're already getting questions in.
Perfect.
From Holy God, thank you so much. He or she wants to know, how do you keep avocados from turning dark so quickly after cutting?
After
I want to
cutting
know that
them?
too. Yes. What's
So
the secret?
the
Why
trick
would you-
that I like to do is that if you're making guacamole and you mash up your avocados or anything like that, you're introducing more oxygen. So if you have an avocado or a smash product, take the pit and put it right in the Ziploc bag with it. And what that's going to do is the pit has an enzyme that prevents it from ripening so quickly. Now, if you have sliced avocado, it's going to be a little bit more different. You just try to keep the air off of it.
Okay.
I have seen people take an avocado and kind of cut they take a half of the avocado and they'll put it face down so that you're not exposing the air to it. And I've seen some people take like a saucer and put a little bit of olive oil there and then set the avocado on that. And so the oil kind of prevents it from getting oxidized.
So keep it in the shell, like you would just cut this and then keep it till you're ready to use it, or
Totally.
put it in the
So when
pan,
you have,
mash it, and then cover it.
so you would take the half that you would have cut
Okay.
and you would put a saucer with a little bit of oil in it and just take your cut side and stick it right down.
Okay.
And that way this surface area is touching the oil, preventing it to be oxidized by preventing oxygen.
Okay. Thank you for the question.
So we've got our green onion in here. We've got a little bit of sliced garlic. Well, a lot of sliced garlic because I like garlic. And we're going to start this off. This is a medium heat, so we're just going to saute this to get a little bit of color. We do want some color because we're going to get a lot of flavor out of this little bit of color. And while this is cooking, we're going to start making our spices. So the first thing I kind of want to talk to you guys about at home is making your own spice blends. So in my house, in my cabinet, I have like an old Mrs. Dash shaker or something like that that I bought and used the spice that was in it. But I keep those plastic shakers because I make all kinds of different spice blends at the home. So one of the places I like to go is, here you have the bulk section for spices. So you have a ton of really fresh, beautiful spices in the health food section here where you can buy them by the ounce or the gram.
Right.
Just wait on those guys.
Okay. Yeah. No, this
So-
is good. I like how Chef always stops. He's so polite. He stops talking.
Well, I
politely,
don't want,
so it's
I don't want
like
anybody to
nice.
miss what we're talking about. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a really simple 4-ingredient taco spice. You can build this and grow from where you want. There's nothing, I want you to understand, like there's nothing, sure there's certain things that are specific to having a taco spice or, different spices for different types of food. But at the end of the day, if you're eating it, it's about what you like. So if you don't want to use taco spice, say you want to use curry or you want to use a Berber spice or anything else, any other spice blend, or you just want to put a bunch of stuff in the pan with the meat, you can do that. This is for you. We're not cooking traditional
We're not
food
here to judge.
Right, exactly.
You enjoy your taco bowl how you want.
Right, and I encourage everyone to do that. Explore spices. There's a lot to be said, and you can make things, take them to the next level just by creating your own spices. So today we have coriander, cumin, paprika, and chili powder. And those things are very simple, very easy things that we can make a very quick taco spice with. So we're going to basically start out with about 2 tablespoons of paprika.
Okay.
We want to do about a teaspoon of coriander because coriander can get really out of hand. It's very fruity. If you have too much coriander in something, it'll kind of taste like Fruit Loops almost. And it's funny because coriander is actually cilantro seeds. A lot of people don't know that. So next, next we have cumin. Again, not a ton of cumin, about half of a teaspoon for this amount of stuff that we're making. Just about a half a teaspoon, not a ton. And then we have chili powder. We can go a little heavy on the chili powder. Chili powder is usually made of several different chilies. So, and it usually has a little bit of cumin, it has a little bit of coriander in it, just because this is actually not like chilies powder, but it's actually like chili powder for making chili. So it's almost the same spice blend that you would want to use for that.
And if you're watching right now and you're like, how much is he putting in of each of those? These recipes are outlined on springermtn.com. So check it out there for this recipe and all the recipes we've done on every show.
Right. So you see that we've got some color in our pan, and this isn't too dark. We want that deep, rich color because it's just going to help build this dish into what we want it to be.
Okay, I'm going to get my Cara cam out because I want to show everybody the behind the scenes. Our lovely studio audience. Hi, guys.
Yeah,
you guys like avocados? Thank you so much. And our awesome crew back there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day, too.
It smells good.
It's hard to see with the
It is.
out
Can
there.
you see how pretty it is?
Yeah.
So nice.
I added just a little bit more olive oil just to give the chicken something to kind of sear on.
Thank you, audience, for humoring me on that. I was waiting until you weren't eating.
You guys getting some smells out there? Smelling pretty good? So while this is cooking, before we get cooked all the way, we're going to add our spice blend. So the last two things we need to add to it are salt and pepper. Like everything, we need salt and pepper.
Sure.
So, and these things you go pretty heavy on because salt and pepper aren't that strong of ingredients. Now, you don't want to go too heavy on salt, obviously, because you don't want to taste salt as a flavoring. But in making a spice blend, you always want to make sure that you don't forget to salt and pepper them.
Okay. While you add that in, can I read you another question?
Absolutely.
I want to get to all of them. Corvette624 says, what is the quickest way to ripen an avocado to use immediately?
So there's a couple of tricks that you can do, but I will honestly say that none of them, I haven't found one that works perfectly. I haven't found one that I would say is my favorite.
I appreciate your honesty.
I've heard throwing them in a brown paper bag and leaving them on a counter will work if you have like a day and you want to get it ripened quickly. I've heard people say crazy things like putting them in the microwave. Me personally, I just leave them on the counter, and I've talked about this before, but a lot of things that we do in shopping and cooking starts with finding the ingredient. So if you get an avocado that's already ripe, you don't need to worry about ripening it immediately. And you can buy unripe avocados, but if you're going to the grocery store every couple of days, you're better off just grabbing a ripe one.
Sure.
So I've kind of showed you guys a couple of tricks before on how to test an avocado for ripeness. One is you just want to feel it. So if you can zoom in on my hands here, you should be able to see that I can push in like that, and it actually will leave a dent. You guys in the audience can see that. That's going to tell me that the fruit is actually started to ripen. Another thing is here, you can do the same thing on the stem end. I'll put that back in camera view, sorry.
Okay.
And stem end, just push down on the stem. If the stem recesses very easily, it's going to be ripe. And then the other one is I'll pop the stem out, and now that I've pushed it in, you can't really do that.
Sure.
But you can see, well, maybe I can get it out. I don't want to end up in one of those avocado videos. Well, I stabbed into the avocado. But you can see that when you flip the little stem over, you would see a bright green on the bottom of it. Now, if you see that bright green, that lets you know that the fruit inside is going to be bright green and ripe. You might have some bruising on the edges, but for the most part, it's going to be nice and ripe.
Okay. All right, good to know. Thank you for the question.
So now that we've got our chicken is about, I would say about halfway cooked, and we're making sure we scrape all this stuff off the bottom. One, because that's flavor, and two, we don't want that to stick there and burn. So now we're going to add our taco spice. We're going to add pretty liberally, but kind of reserve some just in case, because you can always add more, but you can't take away.
Sure.
And as soon as that hits, whoo, I got a breath of it.
Smells
but it
good.
smells like tacos.
I should mention, everyone, too, that after the show, every time what you don't see is Chef Brian feeds everyone.
I try.
Very graciously, so kind. And then people who are also in the store. And then we have started doing a podcast that you can search on Android or iTunes, your app store. Just search Springer Mountain Farms Podcast Network, and it will come up, and it gives you kind of an overview of what we just talked about. There are 3 episodes up, I believe, so check that out. Rate us. Tell us if you like it or if you like it.
Right. If you don't like it, don't tell us.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of chopping up our meat here so that we have a nice texture for like a taco meat.
Ooh,
or
it smells good. Are you all right?
putting it, just
Okay.
it's just all the all this stuff coming up from the pan. It'll get right in your nose, clear you out.
Good, yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna let that sit and finish up, and now we're gonna basically talk about cutting some garnish, because one of the things I like to do with this dish in particular is kind of garnish it like if you've ever had ramen in a restaurant. You get these things in a bowl, and you kind of can see all the garnish, so you know what you're eating. Same reason that I like to slice garlic as opposed to mince it. Like I like to see it. I like to know when I get it. Plus, I like big chunks of garlic.
Sure.
So, you guys don't know this, but the other half of this recipe is rice. But we've cooked rice several times on the show, and this is actually a recipe to show you what to do if you have leftover rice. It's really easy. Or you can make a big batch of rice and use it throughout the week. One of my techniques for reheating rice, nobody's ever asked me this, but this is something that I've
How do you reheat rice, Chef?
What I like to do is I'll take a bowl,
Okay.
put like 2 cups of rice in it, and about half a teaspoon of water. My bowl like this size, like a cereal bowl. And then just cover it with saran wrap, pop it in the microwave for 45 seconds. Usually gets nice and hot, maybe a minute, depending on your microwave.
Okay.
But it steams it back up, gets it nice and fluffy, so you're not dealing with kind of a cold rice or where it all clumps together.
Nice.
So, this is pretty much done. We're gonna finish that with a few things. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the heat.
And we have another question on Slido. This one is from Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. She wants to know, what are your favorite ingredients to work with?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a very good question.
That's a very broad question.
It is a broad question. I haven't asked Chef that ever.
So, I really like cooking ethnic foods. So, there's a lot of ingredients that we use on the show or we try to use that you may not see everywhere. And I try to, one of my favorite things to cook with is obviously something I've never cooked with. So, I like to take things, if I see something that looks crazy on the shelf, I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna take it home, I'm gonna open it up, see what it's about, read about it, do things like that. But I do love Southeast Asian ingredients. So ginger and cardamom and scallion, cilantro, all those things, plus some of the heavier spices like star anise and cinnamon. All those products are things that I love to cook with.
What do you put anise in?
Ooh, all kinds of stuff.
Really?
Pho broth, yeah. Like I do roasted chickens with it sometimes. Just, there's a lot of stuff. It's a strong flavor, but once you know how to use it, it makes things so good.
Yeah.
And you don't need much. It's like 1 star anise will make a whole pot taste like it. If you ever use it, you know that's pretty true.
All right, thanks for the question, Ashley. Great question.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna cut a couple, sorry, I will itch. We're gonna cut a couple of garnishes. So we got some fresh tomato.
Okay.
We've got some lime. We've got some avocado, obviously. And then we've got some cilantro. Now I'll say very easily, if you look at this table, you have all the components that you could make guacamole, right? You've got avocado, you've got lime, you could add garlic, you've got scallion, you've got tomato. So you could make a guacamole, or you could do what we're gonna do, and we're just gonna kind of leave those things separately so that when you get the burrito bowl, you stir it up, mash it up, and then you create basically what I call the perfect bite. If you've ever been eating a really good burrito, and you get down to like the last 3 inches, and it's all soppy and soaked and juices and all that stuff, that is what I want this whole bowl to taste like, the entire period. So that's the kind of the purpose.
All right, I'm excited.
So we're just gonna slide our scallion over here to the side right now. So we already cut that.
Do you put red onion in your guacamole? I do.
You can, yeah. So I use scallion or red onion. It just depends on what I have.
I was just curious.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a little bit different than the picture. We're gonna cut these in kind of a wedge. So I'm just gonna remove the stem top here.
Okay.
And one of the things I wanted to talk about, I think we had some questions earlier about eating avocado pits. I think somebody had asked us online. Now, I want to say that that's something that I've heard about, I've read about, and basically the verdict is still out. So there's several cultures that for years have been using them, and the way that they do is they dry them out, they pulverize them into a powder, and they add it to stuff. So there's several benefits that they do know come from eating the avocado seed.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of things that they're not quite sure whether or not they're bad for you that happen as well. So the studies that they do have are still inconclusive, and people are still warning you to just not jump in gung-ho and start eating avocado seed, because there may be some underlying things that we're not.
It's like a drug commercial where they're like, this will help you with this.
Yeah, and then all the fine print at the bottom.
You also could.
Yeah, you also might pass out randomly or something, you know, I don't know.
Some drawbacks.
Some.
All right. Well, we don't endorse or not endorse eating avocado seeds,
Right.
But if you do, let us know how you prepare them.
Sure.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Is that what you just read? Because that's what Jay Lorraine's said online. I've read on posts that you can grind up the pits for more nutrients. Is this true, or is it harmful? Hopefully we answered that question for you.
Yeah, like I said, I try to get to as many questions as you guys send in. I love the questions. It challenges me to go out and learn new things. ask questions of my own. And, you know, sometimes it just is great for conversation starters with me and some of my chef buddies. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen this? Like, we did an episode with bean sprouts, mung bean sprouts, and somebody was asking about people getting E. coli from mung bean sprouts. So I had to go down a whole diatribe of trying to figure out where and how that came from.
Yeah.
It turns out it was just from the farming of it and the way that they fertilize it.
Oh,
so
interesting. Well, if you like the techniques you're watching too with Chef, we're also going to start releasing some shorter videos on techniques and certain cutting and certain cooking techniques that you imply. So keep your eyes open for those, and we'll keep you aware of those.
So real quick, I'm just taking some of these lime pieces and I just squeezed them into our taco meat just to give a little bit of acid. It's going to really bring out all those flavors that we've already got going on. And it's a nice little finishing touch. Now we're going to get, excuse me.
Sure. Does anyone have a question in our audience? Any questions? Yeah? Okay. If you do,
Yeah. So we're going to
don't
take
be
a little bit
shy.
of rice.
Okay.
We're going to fill up the bottom of the bowl.
Right.
And obviously this is however much rice you want or don't want.
Okay.
Fill that up nice and full,
That looks
like
good.
that. And then what we're going to do with the meat, we'll use the same spoon, it's fine.
Okay,
So we're going to take the meat, but we want to kind of keep it to one side, all right? Like I said, we want to be able to see everything in this dish,
Okay.
kind of like the ramen bowl.
Sure.
So now we got meat on one side.
It smells so good, you guys.
Right. We're going to take a nice pile of scallion, put them over in this corner. We're going to take a couple of the tomatoes, put them here.
Looks pretty. We have a question that just came out on Slido. Thank you, Mahmood Bennett. He or she says, what is one ingredient that you find yourself incorporating into at least one meal every day?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I could take the easy route and say salt and pepper, but
Okay.
that would be
Come on,
kind of
Chef.
rude. So I would say that it's fat.
Okay.
So whether it's bacon fat or avocado
Sure.
oil, which actually is really, really good for you.
Yeah.
Avocado oil. It's the most heart-healthy oil out there, and it has a smoke temp of like 500 degrees, so you can do some cool stuff with it.
Okay.
So whether it's butter or meat fat, or if it's olive oil or another oil, fat is pretty much in every meal that I eat.
What kind of cool, I don't know what that means. What kind of cool stuff can you do with avocado oil?
Oh, it's great, like, because it does taste like
Tell us
avocado,
more.
so it's really
Okay.
fun to make like salad dressings or other dressings with it. It's one really good thing, so you do get a lot of the flavor. It's also really good to saute. I like to do it with fish, like if you want to do a nice fish with like some roasted tomato and stuff like that, it adds another level of flavor and
Okay.
nuttiness. So, yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with the avocado oil. It is kind of expensive, I will say that.
Okay.
So,
While you continue to play this up, I just want to let people know that we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook at Cooking with Earth Fare, or
Correct.
on Twitter, which is just Cooking with EF. And we encourage you to look at any of the recipes that you've seen on SpringerMTN.com. Cook them, post a picture, and then you could win a $25 gift card to Earth Fare. All you have to do is just tag us on it. Let us know. We've had some people submit some pictures in the past, and y'all
Right.
are very good chefs.
yeah, so what we're gonna do here is we just got a little bit of cilantro right in the top. So what you end up with is you've got your lime, you've got your avocado, you've got your tomato, you've got your scallion, and you've got your chicken taco meat in the back. And then just for some nice presentation, we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of our seasoning on top, because what that's gonna do is it's gonna act like chile limon, so to speak, and it's gonna put a little bit of color on top. It's gonna season that avocado. And then just to finish it all off, just a nice dollop of sour
That's
cream
beautiful.
right on top.
I love
and there
it.
you
Chef
go.
Brian Carson, ladies and gentlemen, with the Chicken Burrito Bowl. Thank you so much. You know what else I was thinking too is that it would be so fun for kind of a hands-on party kid experience too, to make your
Yeah.
own Chicken Burrito
Totally.
Bowls.
Right.
Get everyone involved that way. All right, I'm going to take a bite. First,
Right.
I'm going to let
And
you
you
know
could-
that. Oh, go ahead. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, you could take this recipe, you could sub out rice for a noodle. So if you wanted to do like an Asian style noodle, a buckwheat noodle, like a soba noodle or a glass noodle, or even if you want to do a vermicelli or something like that, you could definitely do this recipe with those. I prefer the rice just because the protein to carb ratio is a little bit better for you. So,
Okay.
that's
all right. You've taught me something, and I know this is going to be delicious too. I want to let you know that Gail Fan is our winner. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we'll be
awesome.
in touch with you. Thank you for asking a question, and for everyone that asked a question, thank you to Earth Fare for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you to Springer Mountain Farms for letting this all be possible, and the delicious chicken. And thank you to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you to our studio audience too. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Charlie.
Come here.